Law. Now, law is a situation in and of its own nature. It is messed up in every particular direction imaginable. Law. Let's start with simplicity. Okay, the Second Amendment. The common argument is that the Second Amendment is pertinent to the government's right to have a military and the civilian right to have a firearm. And the problem is in the term militia. Well, I am going to do my best to define militia for you. And I'm even going to go to dictionary.com. I have a hard time multitasking on this computer. Don't really know why. I just seem to. I don't seem to be able to go from recording a video to a website and continue speaking to the video. I don't know how that works. So I'm going to go to dictionary.com because I don't just want you to hear it from me. Okay. Militia. Not militia. Delete. And the other problem is I don't know how to spell militia. Militia. Thank you. Don't. It said thank you on it. Now I'm going to see if I can show you this. Militia, noun, a body of citizens enrolled in military service and called out periodically for drill, but serving full time only in emergencies. 2. A body of citizen soldiers as distinguished from professional soldiers. 3. All able-bodied males considered by law eligible for military service. None of that is right to me. Okay? A militia, to me, is a body of armed civilians. Civilians, not military personnel. But regardless, there is a distinguishment from the difference between citizen soldiers and professional soldiers. I don't like it, but nonetheless, I'm going to try to not encapsulate the ad in there. I'm going to try to... Oh, wow, that's just white screen. Yeah, you can't see anything on there. That's just blank. Too bad. I wanted to show some evidence there. A militia is not regular military. A militia is a body of armed civilians. Period. Bar none. And I think the message was gotten across there. I just think it was the terminology that was not all right. Civilians, not regular military, not local law enforcement. A militia. A regular is I hate tripping over my own words. And I don't have a decent dictionary running around to show you evidence that I actually went and looked it up. But anyways, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A well-regulated militia. a well-trained body of citizen soldiers, not professional soldiers, as is to be expected from the United States Armed Forces, or in some cases, expected from local law enforcement. A body of civilians. Okay? Armed civilians. Being necessary to the security of a free state. I don't need to explain that part. The right of the people. Excuse me. Gas, I guess. In any legislation where the term the right of the people is placed in, the inference is that it is not governmentally given. It is governmentally recognized, and it is governmentally protected, but it is not governmentally given. Do the research. And once again, I am not a professional on any of this stuff. If I make a mistake, comment on it. Anyways. To keep and bear arms. I don't know why people come across as thinking that this means that we're talking about muskets, arms, 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 arms. Yeah. See, the problem is with old terminology, modern terminology is most of the time you're not going to get what you're looking for. Today, arms is not generalized weaponry. Today, arms is pertinent to firearms. Okay, hand-to-hand arms. Things of that nature. And arms in the dictionary is arms, not arms. So anyways, back to my previous statement. To keep and bear arms does not mean that weapon or this weapon over here or this weapon down here. No. It means all encompassing, all weapons, all armaments. Everything is legal. As far as firearms are concerned, the American civilian populace is intended to be comparable to the military. Okay? There's a reason why, and it's not just protecting farms. And it's not just reference to muskets. Okay, it's legal for me to walk down the street with my tomahawk and my long knife on my hip. Not that I have a long knife. It is legal for me to walk down the street with my kokatana on my hip. It is legal for me to walk down the street with my rifle slung across my shoulder. It is legal for me to walk down, though it would be a disturbance of the peace violation. It would be a disturbance of the peace violation. I could walk down the street with an RPG strapped across my back and 5 reloads, and the police couldn't arrest me on the fact that I had an RPG strapped across my hiney, but they could arrest me on the fact of how disturbing to the peace it is. That is completely illegal. They would ask me to put my firearm in the trunk of my car, and then they would either cite me, a violation, or they would take my ass off to jail for disturbing the peace. But nevertheless, it's legal. Cope. Sorry, people get so wound up over that terminology. Sorry, it's legal. Cope. we're meant to be in that state of preparedness. We are meant to be in that state of, yeah, we're the power code. But anyways, shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed is the part that the majority of people seem to have a problem with. Understand that this law does not cover anti-government militias. Okay? A militia may be called into being by either the local legislation, or by the local people, or by the necessity of emergency. A militia can form itself instantaneously pertinent to the necessity. You know, if the freedom of your state where you live is in danger, you and your next door neighbors and your buddies that go to the bar with you, if you are armed, you can form a militia. Whether or not you are trained is another issue, and that needs to be recognized by the majority of people. Okay. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, bar none. Now I'm going to tell you about another law, and mind you, this is just my understanding. Okay, I have a limited understanding of the law. I would absolutely love to get a constitutional lawyer in on this conversation. Okay. Mayberry versus Madison, Supreme Court ruling of 1803. Supreme Court rulings, if I understand it correctly, and I could be wrong, is federal law. Bar none. It is federal law. Mayberry versus Madison states, and once again, I might get this incorrect, Mayberry versus Madison clearly states that a law repugnant to the Constitution of the United States of America is void. There is no such thing as the 16th Amendment because it's not appropriately, It's taxation without representation. It's not properly defined. It can be fixed, but it would have to be eliminated first. There is no such thing as the Homeland Security Act because it violates about half of the civil liberties. There is no such thing as weapons limitations, bans, restrictions, ammo restrictions. There's no such thing as any of that. You want to know why? Mayberry versus Madison. People get all twisted up whenever I say that. There is no such thing as weapons laws, restrictions, bans, violations, anything like that. There is no such thing. Okay? There is no such thing as the 16th Amendment. It is repugnant to the Constitution because it is taxation without representation. It does not exist. Period. Bar none. Cope. There is no such thing as the Homeland Security Act. There is no such thing as a state being not sovereign in this country. Every state is sovereign and does not require to be participant to the federal government in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You can't even vote that in or out. There is no such thing as these limitations on your freedom. Now, that being said, do I want you to go up to Capitol Hill and protest? Fuck no. Fuck no. I am always a big believer that if you want to fix a problem in the system, you have to participate in the system. If you don't participate in the system, you're being anti-American. Okay, and that's just the way I was raised. Okay, that's it. That's just the way I was raised. If you don't like it, go to hell. Okay? I grew up in a strong American military family, and it works out like this, okay, guys? If you're protesting, you're wasting energy. Somebody may or may not hear you. If you want things to change, you have to play ball. You have to work in government. Okay? If you want things to change, you have to work to become the next mayor. You have to work to become the next alderman, if I'm saying that right. Alderman. If you want things to change, you have to fight to become the next president of the United States of America. And yes, I know there's a lot of money out there aimed in the direction of people that probably shouldn't be presidents of the United States of America. But there's no reason to get paranoid over that. See, it's all a big fancy illusion. You can listen to the Alex Joneses of the world. You can listen to the Freemans of the world, and it's completely valid that you do that, and I do not judge you for it. But bar none, it is an illusion. Dust it off. Move the fuck on.